Previously on Legends of Aelos. The party is once again on the road, now mounted atop their trusty new steeds, allowing for the five to converse amongst themselves and their current traveling compatriots as they continue on towards Kinghaven. Dominicus speaks with Hargar, attempting to get some more insight into the man, Kazarak, whom he seeks so intently, and Rowan discusses with Jathral and the others about their plan of action, though it is not long, thanks to their new mounts, before they make the first gates, walking them into the capital of Eswind. While Martizan may have used his silver tongue to assist in procuring the horses at an appreciably cheaper price, it's Briar plying her womanly charms that helps the party get affordable enough private stabling for their transport, and after getting some local recommendations from the stable hand, they make their way into the city proper, taking in the grandiose marvel of construction that is Kinghaven. There is more here than most of the five have ever seen in any one place at any point in their collective lives. Recognizing the risks that could come with such a hustling and bustling city, the group makes a point to keep mind upon their royal companion, especially after the random approach of a small child, recognizing Rowan, proving to the party that the word of their deeds and obvious existence are becoming far more widespread than they had ever believed it could become. The party members keep their eyes peeled and poise themselves to spring into action were any of the myriad of peoples and groups amongst them to attempt something foolish. It is not long, however, before the group's attention is drawn away to the promulgation of a town crier who speaks upon the recent events of Lake Grasp and the Zahathian War, which, evidently, had found Midcove to have recently been under siege. The crier continues on down the square at the main steps of the castle, though it is not long before he is replaced with the procession of loss, a temple-stipulated custom where those that perish in the name of Eswind are led beneath the view of the king as they make their way towards their final resting place. It is from this that the five are reunited with Siora and Bolt, as the latter escorts the remains of a very familiar friend to them all, Balin Tuffwold. The party and companions grieve for their loss. Bolt explains how Zahath attacked, and that he, Dacia, and his boat were able to survive the conflict, but how Balin's and his vessel were not so fortunate. Dom expresses what they all feel, as the magical essence of his rage spouts a growth of bramble all about the area. The procession continues onward as the groups part ways, planning to meet later for drinks at the Cantankerous Tankard Tavern in remembrance of their fallen friend. Shortly after, though, there is a start, as guards take notice of the princess in the crowd and immediately spring into action. Hargar falls in with his men, and they begin to escort the princess, but there is some confusion with how quickly events are transpiring. The general crowd begins to push in towards the column of soldiers escorting the princess, so Briar assists in dispersing some of that pressure with a hypnotic spell. However, Dominicus, in his current furious state, seeks to be near the princess so as to best protect her. But the guards only see him as an interloper and a threat, so they forcibly stave off his attempts to approach. Fortunately, before things begin to spiral out of control, Hargar is able to communicate to the party that he will find them later, and Dom concedes as the princess and her entourage enter the castle proper. The group eventually makes their way to the Cantankerous Tankard to discover that not only do they provide drink and food, but other forms of entertainment, especially not fighting, something that Dom is very interested in not doing right now. As the party files in, they find their friends already underway, Bolt regaling story and welcoming the five in company, as Siora continues from one bout to the next. After besting a stout and energetic halfling, Siora retires from the ring, and Briar goes to tend to her mother's injuries. Conveniently, this opens up the arena for a particular barbarian with an itch to scratch. Now able to speak of dueling freely, Dom sets himself up a contender and has Siora prepare him for his bout, Dom must fight on even footing, so no armaments, only wrapped hands. While Siora's tough halfling was certainly a fighter, Dom is placed up against a towering ogre, which would dwarf just about anyone, relatively speaking. However, the 9 feet of hulking muscle in all of its imposing form only hold to prove the old adage true. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as Dominicus vents his rage whilst pummeling the lights out of the ogre. Now, with Dominicus over 100 gold pieces richer, Asher and Rowan seek to sign themselves into the mix next. And it is from here we shall continue the story of the Legends of Aelos.